Hi everyone, it's Katie Crysdale here at Lakeview Aquatic Consultants. Welcome back to your weekly aquatic industry insider. If you're new to this series, we're going to be looking at interesting articles from the past week. So the first article I'm mentioning is one that was huge. It was all across social media, not just in the aquatics industry, but also across mainstream media, because it was so abrupt and so scary until we got more information. So initially when this incident happened, I actually did not share it to the Lakeview Aquatic Consultants Facebook page because I thought it had the potential to really scare people unnecessarily. So let me talk about what this article is and why I've chosen now to share it on our Facebook page and what's significant about it. So the heading of this article is Israeli couple arrested after man dies in pool sinkhole. And this is from ctvnews.ca. And so what had happened in Israel was there was a pool party, a backyard gathering at a house near Tel Aviv, and there is video footage which you can see online. We have not reshared it because it is graphic, showing a sinkhole opening up underneath the swimming pool. It is a vinyl pool, so it rips. The water goes out of the pool into the ground, and it takes someone with them who dies because they are unable to get out of the sinkhole underneath the swimming pool. It's a tragic situation. It's a graphic video, so do be warned if you go looking for it. And initially, I didn't share this article or this video on our Facebook page because what is there to learn from that? A sinkhole, a natural occurrence, totally unexpected, is a tragic situation and could really put a lot of fear in people about using backyard swimming pools. However, what made me decide to share this article was the increasing information that's coming out now, where the police in Israel are alleging that the couple, an older couple, built the pool in their backyard without proper licensing and permits. So that is a completely different perspective on what happened, and that is the reason that we shared this particular article on our Facebook page, because the learning that we can share with other people in our industry is that when it comes to construction, particularly something like excavating earth and then creating a suitable base on which to build a pool, that is technical work. That requires permits, that requires inspections. And more information will come out as this situation is investigated, but it is a terribly graphic situation where one person's shortcuts impacted someone else's life. Next article I want to mention for this week is a situation where we also don't have a lot of details yet, so it will be interesting to follow as the situation develops. This article is entitled Police Investigating Drowning at Sam Baca Aquatic Center. This is from the Deming Headlight. Deming is a town in the state of New Mexico. It's north of a place where I used to live called Las Cruces. This article caught my attention because of the headline regarding the drowning. I thought it was a situation where there was a fatal drowning in a lifeguarded facility. I was aware that the pool in Deming is a lifeguarded facility. The lead for this particular article is actually buried. So as we get further into the article, you come to realize that the individual who died at the aquatic center was actually a lifeguard. And that's a super unusual situation and really distressing at this point. We don't have a lot of information. The thing that particularly flagged me for cause for concern is some background further down in the article above the photo. At the time of the drowning, the facility was closed to the public and staff were performing routine cleaning and maintenance and preparing for the opening. So why does this matter? So unfortunately, there is a culture in aquatic facilities. I was a lifeguard for many years. I was part of this culture where lifeguards on their off shifts, between swims, on their lunch breaks, their work breaks, they may go and swim unlifeguarded, unattended, solo. And there's also a culture of maintenance. And there was a really tragic situation, I was told by somebody who worked at the facility, Saanich, BC, in around 1992, I believe. There was a lifeguard who died She went into the pool between swims to pick up some debris at the bottom of the pool that she thought it was going to be faster for her to just pop into the pool, pick up the broken debris, and then get out of the pool instead of using the vacuum. What she didn't realize was that what was broken was a cover for the water slide intake, and the drowning fatality report is available from the Life Saving Society, and I heard this information firsthand from somebody who was working at the facility that day. And the lifeguard was entrapped against the water slide intake, a very powerful pump that sends water up to the top of the slide. That suction intake could be in the side of the pool wall in some pool designs. And nobody discovered it because she had gone on her own into the pool to grab this equipment during an off period when regular customers were not in the pool. So all of that to say, we don't have a lot of details yet about this lifeguard fatality in Deming. It could be completely unrelated. It could be a pre-existing medical condition, but it is always concerning when we see a lifeguard injured or dying in the course of their work. There have not been a lot of lifeguard fatalities in North America that I'm aware of. The most famous is Ben Carlson, the surf lifeguard in California who drowned a number of years ago. A link to that information. The family has created a foundation. There is a scholarship that is now available, as well as a great documentary about his life and service to his community, as well as the city recognition for his role.
I could tell at a very young age that Ben was different. Coming from the Inland Empire, he always kind of wished that he was born at the beach.
Ben decided he wanted to be a lifeguard. I thought, great.
He wanted to show that not only could he survive here, he was going to be a part of the fabric of this community one way or the other.
But it's just overall such a sad story and a good reminder that we need to be thinking about our lifeguard safety just as much as our customers' safety, not just on shift when the pool is open, but also between when the pool is open and closed in terms of any maintenance, any anti-entrapment checks we're doing, any cleaning. That should be also a cause for concern. The next article is a good news story, so a bit of a palate cleanser. This is from the website Book Club Chicago, and the heading is Newly Installed Life Rings Help Save Man from Drowning in Rogers Park. So Chicago has gone through about a year of discussing getting life-saving equipment on the lakefront, talking about it, finally ordering it, finally installing it. And basically this rescue equipment, it was installed about 6 months ago. And already in the course of 6 months, there has been a number of rescues that have taken place in the lake where it was directly attributed to that free posted rescue equipment being available to help people. I find it really significant that the media is closing the loop and showing how this equipment has helped people and saved their lives. Because from what I was seeing in the sort of media firestorm surrounding the discussion at a council level, at a government level in Chicago about the appropriateness of getting this life-saving equipment, there was really a lot of doubt about its functionality, about the need to have it. And anybody who has been a lifeguard or who's lived around water, worked around water, knows that not everybody is able to swim. And so posting rescue equipment should be a no-brainer, but that doesn't always translate into action. So really happy to see this rescue equipment getting used. Not happy to see people having unintentional falls into water and emergency situations, but really great that this equipment is available. And I hope it can be a model for other communities who might be on the fence about the appropriateness of installing this type of equipment. Next article is one that we see so many occurrences of during the summer. The summer is peak pool season in North America. It's hot. People get outside. They travel with their families to hotels with pools or amusement parks or water parks, lakes, rivers, all that sort of thing. And over the last couple years, we've seen a huge increase in the number of drowning fatalities associated with things like inflatables, pool equipment, things that might look really great on Instagram or, really lucrative and fun on Amazon or Pinterest, but that are not life-saving devices and potentially result in people who are weaker swimmers or non-swimmers getting into situations where they're not able to self-rescue or they lose a grasp on the equipment in their hands. And this is a classic example, unfortunately, of what has been happening more and more over the last couple of years with that confusion with what is an inflatable. It's not a life-saving device. It's not an approved water swimming, water teaching device. And the general public just doesn't know that. They see foam, they see something that floats, they see something that's buoyant, and they assume that that is going to be suitable to assist them in swimming in water beyond their depth or comfort. So this article is from cbsnews.com in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Man swimming on pool noodle drowns at Lewisville Lake. Last article I want to mention is kind of an unusual one. So every day I receive Google News alerts for the terms swimming pool and drowning. Now, I don't read those alerts every single day. Often I'll let them collect over several days and then skim through them to see different articles that are interesting to me, relevant to the industry, new trends, kind of what's happening, not just in Canada and North America, but around the world. It'll pick up those words and articles anywhere where they're published on the web. And this is one that is really unusual to see. This is the first instance I've ever seen where doctors, pediatricians are directly involved in legislative policy in trying to get something passed or not passed. Now, historically, I have seen doctors involved in drowning research and drowning positions, like the World Health Organization saying that drowning is a crisis issue. It is a pandemic, overused term at this point, but it is a massive problem medically and socially. But this is a little bit of a different one. This is something that is ongoing. So this article is from cbc.ca. It's from Prince Edward Island, which is in Atlantic Canada, so the Maritimes out east. Charlottetown pediatricians slam proposed change to residential pool bylaw. Pediatricians in Charlottetown, PEI, are speaking out against a proposed bylaw amendment that could see hard top pool covers used in place of an enclosure or fence within the city. This is significant for a couple of reasons. The first thing that came to mind is this is not unlike a battle that is currently happening in Quebec, so a province not close but also not too far from PEI. And in Quebec, there has been a delay to implementing a residential pool fence bylaw this summer, 2022, because of allegedly issues with supply chains that would make it hard for contractors and homeowners to get those pool fences erected. Now, I shared this article on our Facebook page a few months ago when the implementation was delayed, and I said somewhat provocatively maybe that children would drown as a result. And unfortunately, no consultant ever wants to be proven correct, but within a few weeks, there were multiple drowning fatalities of small children in the area, I believe it was Montreal, where these were taking place. So really tragic situation. And so I find it really exciting to see the pediatricians in PEI involved during the legislative period, arguing for not switching from fences to hardtop covers. We do talk about layers of drowning prevention in water safety, that one item is not enough, so a fence is not enough. We could add that to a hardtop cover, that we could add that to door locks, we could add that to teaching swimming lessons or water competency. The idea is that if one of these layers fails, or by creating a mesh or a web of layers, then we can reduce the incident of drowning fatalities. So all of this to say, there is, with the medical situation in Canada, with the pandemic and the shortage of healthcare workers and wait times that some people are experiencing, doctors in PEI have better uses of their time They're very, very busy, and so it's really wonderful to see them engaging with media and promoting this issue as important to them. It is an important issue for all families, for all people involved with water safety and drowning prevention. So I was really, really excited to see that this made the mainstream media and that it was being kept in the media as a discussion point. So those are all the articles from this past week, July 17th to 23rd. I hope you enjoyed this Aquatic Industry Insider video. We're looking to be doing these videos every week or every 2 weeks to recap the key articles that crossed my desk. If you have any feedback, please leave comments below, and all of the articles will be linked below so you can catch up on any of them for yourself.